Shalom, Namaste, Jai Bharat, Jai Israel. My dear friends, I don't think so somebody will join this stream because it's a new channel and it's a sister channel of No More Jihad. No More Jihad would be in Hindi and English, most of the time in Hindi. But this new channel, the reality of Islam, would be always in English because there are a lot of English speakers they are converting into Islam, especially the Christians, because the Muslims they say that the Christ was a Muslim. That's now they're this very new strategy they are going to. They have started already. This is new strategy, and they claim that Jesus was a Muslim. Even I have heard one interview of a fellow who said that he was a Christian and converted into Islam because there is nothing true in Christianity, no God, Trinity, this and Trinity, this and so on and so forth. And then finally, when he spoke to Christian friends, then he realized. So, my dear friends, this is my responsibility. And also, I have a request to all the Christians, all the Christian denominations, that they must try to keep a watch on everybody, every girl, every boy, every man, every lady, every gentleman, that they're not in touch with Muslims and they're not being brainwashed and not converting to Islam. Please be careful because these people have decided to. Because if suppose why they're doing this, it's a big lie. That's why this stream's theme is lies of Islam, and even I would like to say lies of Islam 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like short videos, 15, 20 minutes videos I'm going to make. So recently, I have come across one video where one kind of a mufti or some Muslim preacher is talking to a Christian young boy. So let me download that video, and then we'll see. The full video I would like to download, and then, in fact, unfortunately, this video I made yesterday, but it was not so good quality. There were a lot of disturbances. So this is the video I'm going to. It's called One True
So
Message
the
Foundation.
sign that said Jesus was a Muslim.
Yes.
For me, that struck me as provocative because when Jesus was alive, Islam didn't exist yet, right? It came about in the 7th century AD with Muhammad.
So what do you understand by the term Muslim? And obviously these guys probably explained it.
For me, a Muslim is someone who tries to live their life by the teachings of Muhammad.
Okay.
Right?
So Muslim linguistically means a person who submits their will to the will of the.
See, now they brought this term called linguistically because they are using this word. Linguistically, the meaning of Muslim is who submits. It's not submit. Islam is surrender, who surrenders to the will of God. This is what they're using. Submit. So now they're claiming that all from Adam to Jesus, all the Jewish prophets, Abraham, Moses, Noah, Adam, all they were Muslims. See, so just listen, and I'll counter this.
Creator.
With evidence.
And so that's where it gets interesting because because a Christian might also say that I submit my will to the will of the Creator. So could you say that a Christian is a Muslim as well?
Yeah. So
Can you be both?
So now this is a question. So for example, the disciples of Jesus Christ, or the followers of Moses, peace upon him, okay, who followed Moses his lifetime. Because they were living the life according to the revelation. So now this is a question. So for example, the disciples of Jesus Christ, or the followers of Moses, peace upon him, okay, who followed Moses his lifetime, etc. They were Muslims. Why? Because they were living the life according to the revelation which is given to their prophet, who was submitting his will to the will of the Father, will of the Creator. I mean, Christians call him the Father.
Okay. Now they have brought the term linguistic and the will of the Creator And see now, when Jesus Christ was living, when he was born, he lived his whatever length of time, whatever years his life was, he lived in Israel, especially North Israel. And that time they are now there, or even the during time of Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses. We in Hebrew we call Moshe Rabbeinu. English is called Moses. Abraham is called Abraham, and in Hebrew, in English it's called Abraham, and they call Ibrahim in Arabic. Will all these people they have stolen all the prophets of Judaism, Jewish prophets, Jewish prophets, Jewish prophets. They have copied and they have stolen all these stories and put in the Quran. So in fact, it's so what they claim that these all people were they believed in and they surrender to the God. Now that God and Allah, now we have to see who was the God of Adam, Noah, Abraham, Moses, Isaac. Abraham, there were three more people, patriarchs we call: Isaac, Jacob, and from this Moses came, and then 12 tribes, and then Israel, Jacob. These the God of these people, the God of these people was God of Israel. And still all the Jewish people believe and praise, they all pray to God of Israel. Called, and I would like to say this God is not God of Israel, this God is an universal God. Okay. Now then the Allah is entirely a different God. Entirely, not at all. Nothing is common in Allah and God of Israel. Why? I would like to say Allah is Al-Ilah. Al-Ilah is moon God. So they pray moon God, and they have many other gods, like, beside moon God, they have this Hubal, and Hubal had a wife, and there are three goddesses, Venus, and so these are their gods. So basically, they are called the pagans. And by the way, the prophet of Islam called Muhammad, he continued stolen all the stories from Torah, stolen all the stories from Bible, stolen all the stories from not all, part, but most of the part is from Torah, our religion, Jewish religion. 70, 75, 80% it's copied from Jewish texts, especially Torah. So that God of Israel and Allah, they're entirely different. Muhammad, the prophet of Islam, Muhammad, called Muhammad, he prayed to Allah. His all followers prayed to Allah. And he forced everybody. He started three things. Once he came in power, he started three things: invite people to Islam, and if they say no, then fight with them and kill them. Or if don't fight and don't, you pay money to us for being non-Muslims among the Muslims. Okay, that in our discussions, these things will come up, and then you would come to know. So the Allah of Adam, Noah, Abraham, Moses, Isaac, Jacob, even Jesus was the same God. So how come when he didn't pray Allah, how come then he will be a Muslim? This is the one very big evidence. And Jesus used to say, God, Father. I'm not a Christian, I'm a Jew. But I have heard this and I have read some stories. Now I started reading Bible also, New Testament especially. So to know this, he prayed only the God of Israel, only Hashem, we call it. Yud-He Vav-He. That we'll discuss later. Some other time it will come in discussions, you will come to know. And Allah is Hubal, moon, and other, polytheism. And by the way, to show you this evident, the biggest evidence is that this first of all is Kaaba, and second is they move around the Kaaba. So this is entirely a different God. Jewish God never ordered us, never ordered Jews and other people who follow him to do anything like this. Our very much first commandment says you have to see this first commandment and second commandment. They, I'll show you. I have this we read twice a day, 3 times a day we read. In fact, in our prayers, 10 commandments. Our group prays, and I have advised them to insert these 3 things, 10 commandments, twice, once in the morning, once in the afternoon, and as many as time is required. So I would like to read first in English and maybe in Hebrew, but I don't want to bore you. I mean, I don't want to give you some sort of things which you don't understand. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. You shall have no other gods before me. So this is purely a monotheism. Okay. All right. So here it is. You shall not make for yourself a graven image. Okay. No need to make any kind of, nor any manner of likeness of anything that is in heaven above, that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under. So you don't have to make any symbol or any image or any idol or anything. Okay. So what is Kaaba? So this is a different God. Okay. Kaaba symbolizes Islam, and it's a different, it's the world, Islamic's world center of the world, Kaaba. And they move around 7 times, like, anti-clockwise. So how come the same God? And by the way, in our Torah, in our Bible, in the Christian Bible, in our Tanakh, we call it, in our Jewish Bible, Allah name never comes. Okay. So how come Adam, Moses, Noah, Abraham, and his all son, grandsons, grandchildren would follow Islam? Okay. Now let's see. He is saying that let's go to the. I think we must go to the definition of Islam. How the Islam is defined, a follower of the religion of Islam. Okay, it's simple, very simple. Whoever will follow Islam will be called Muslim. If you want me to make this thing little bigger, you could see very nicely. Here it is, a follower of the religion of Islam. Okay, now let's see who would be called Muslim. To followers of the Islam, what they do, profession of faith, Shahada, believe that there is no God but God, and Muhammad is the. Okay. Now, Jesus prayed, always the God of Israel. Okay. But he never prayed. He never believed in, because Muhammad was not there at all. 600 before the Islam was born, Islam was created. There was no Allah, there was no Quran, there was no Muhammad, there was nothing. Okay. And he prayed, believed, faith he had only in the God of Israel. Prayer, Salat. And Jesus never prayed 5 times a day, because he prayed by his way. Okay. He prayed by Jewish way, because he was Jewish. Zakat, he never gave zakat for this thing. Fasting, he did fast, but not like the Ramadan fast. We have fast, Yom Kippur, Tisha B'Av, we have Yom Kippur fast. We pray 24, 25 hours, whole day, not even a drop of water we don't take. That is called. And of course, finally, pilgrimage, Hajj. Jesus never came to Saudi Arabia to perform it. There was no Hajj that time. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I've taken like this. And there was no Kaaba. They say that there was a Kaaba was built by Abraham Avinu and his son Ismail. But there is no evidence that Abraham Avinu, Abraham and his son Ismail, they went to Saudi Arabia. So this is a very well debunked, this idea that the Christ was Muslim because of this point. Further, also in the video, they are discussing this fellow, the Muslim scholar, is trying to convince this Christian fellow that boy looks quite pretty smart. So, so let's see. We go to the video again. So here is the video, and
Father, etc. Okay, so a person who submits the will to the will of God is called a Muslim.
Okay.
So Abraham, Moses, Jesus, Noah, all of these messengers and prophets were Muslims by that definition.
Okay.
So
and by the definition, they never followed Islam, because Islam was 14. Islam is only 1400 years old, and you have to say La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. There is also evidence that if you don't believe in Prophet, then you cannot, Allah will not love you. I have that this thing also. If you say here, and those who believe, I think I have this. Say, oh mother, if you are okay. So say, if you should love Allah, then follow me. Okay. So when it comes, like, if you don't follow the Prophet, you are not a Muslim. So Allah will love you and forgive you your sins if you don't follow the Prophet. So Allah is like, the in Islam, Muhammad and Allah at the same level. Muhammad and Allah, they are same, and Allah will love you and forgive you. Only this, that you have to follow the Prophet. Okay, is forgiving and merciful. Say, obey Allah and the Messenger. So they are two, both together, and this also doesn't fit into the definition of monotheism, that there is only one God. But if they turn away, then indeed Allah does not like the disbelievers. So what will happen if you don't follow the Prophet Muhammad, the Islamic Prophet Muhammad? The Prophet Muhammad is not my prophet at all. Please don't take it otherwise. So if you turn away, then indeed Allah does not like the disbeliever. So you become a disbeliever, Mustaqim, something like that. And then there are so many allegations about the Prophet, and those who disbelieve say this is not except a falsehood is invented. Okay, this is not our topic today. By the Hashim, by the will of God, we'll discuss sometime. It will come for discussion, and we'll discuss.
Linguistically, it means, so what some may think is a Muslim is a person who follows the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, or a Muslim is a person who is maybe from the Arabian Peninsula, for example. Of course, some may assume that. Okay, but this is incorrect. Muslim is the one who submits their will to the will of the Creator. Mm-hmm. So that's why Jesus Christ, he is a Muslim, according to us, and we believe in him. We believe in his miraculous birth.
So they believe in him. A miraculous birth. They believe in him, his powers, his everything, but they don't believe him as
we believe in the miracles he carried out by the permission of God. Okay, all of these things, all the miracles he did, by whose permission?
So it's like, and you would put all the Abrahamic prophets in that tradition.
Absolutely.
Like, Abraham,
but the question is
Moses.
No, exactly. The question is, where are you deriving your knowledge on who these people were and what they revealed? What is your source material? So Jesus Christ, we believe in him as a person who came with a message from God to guide us on how to live our lives. Okay. When God created us, do you think he just created us and left us aimlessly without any purpose?
No.
And do you think he left us without guidance, so we can't?
Okay, now they are claiming that the God sent this prophet to guide us. Okay, now prophet's guidance, if we discuss, it will take 5 hours, because his misguidance. In fact, it was not a guidance; it was misguidance. So now Hashem, God of Israel, our universal God, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, had given us very beautiful guidance, and those guidance comes from these 10 commandments. Okay, so when you want to go to 10 commandments, you please write 10 commandments, and you write CHABAD, Chabad, 10 commandment Chabad. Now this is the best document in the world. This is the best document in the world, which, because of this document, eternal peace will come to the world, love will come, everybody will love, honesty, everything will be here, because it is not allowed to murder, it is not allowed to steal, it is not allowed to do any adultery. You shall not steal, You shall not be a false witness against your neighbor. You shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife, his manservant, his maidservant, nothing. And if you analyze Islamic Prophet Muhammad's life, these all things are against this. He did against all these things, my dear friends. Try to understand. Okay, so and by the way, and how come the same God, if you do little analysis, these five commandments you read, honor is fifth is okay. Let it stay on this. Now, if you see this, all right, covenant, you read this five commandments. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. Means you don't have to speak lies. You shall not covet your neighbor's house, your neighbor's wife, your neighbor's anything of your neighbor's. You should not desire, or you should not even think about that it should come to you. And this God here is saying, especially these 2 points, you shall not commit adultery, and here you shall not covet your neighbor's wife. So that you're not supposed to do any physical relationship with anybody before your marriage, or with anybody which is not you're not allowed to. And here it is. See now, covenant revelations. The same God. How come? That's what I'm saying. This God is different from our God. It's Jewish God. We have made lawful. See now, your wives, to whom you have paid the meher, bridal money given by the husband to his wife, and at the time of marriage, and those who captives of slaves, in wars he got, or the Muslims get, whom your right hand possessed, slaves. Okay, that means you have full right over them, whom God has given to you. Okay, and the daughters of your okay, paternal uncle, and the daughters of your amma, paternal aunts, and the daughters of your khala, maternal uncle, and the daughters of your khal and khala, maternal aunt, who migrated from Makkah with you. And a believing woman, if she offers herself to the prophet, and the prophet wishes to marry her, a privilege for you only, not for the rest of the believers. You see, here it says clearly that this God is not this God. Here he says, this God says, don't do any adultery, don't desire your neighbor's wife. And here it clearly says that every woman in the world is for you. And especially, it is so unfortunate that the God himself, this Allah is saying, not God, this is not God. This couldn't be a God, never would be a God, because this is looking like written by a man. Now, whoever is written, we don't know. Maybe Muhammad's assistants, or their Sahabas, or whatever they call, or some scholars, they have written the Quran. And the believing woman, if she offers herself to the Prophet, and the Prophet wishes to marry her. See now, any woman who could offer herself to the Prophet, oh my goodness. And this privilege for you only, not for the believers. Do you think any prophet of Judaism was given this privilege? Any privilege is like this? Never. God of Israel, this universal God, will never do such thing. So this is looking like the Quran is written by man, maybe one man, maybe five men. So let's go back to the
Achieve that purpose which you believe we have.
No, I think he did.
He gave us guidance.
Yeah, sure.
And the messengers and prophets are the carriers of this guidance from God.
Okay.
So Jesus Christ is a messenger from God. This is how we believe it.
Right.
We don't
would you say that like a very devout Christian today who submits himself to God, like I don't know, Pope Francis or something, you wouldn't say that he was a Muslim?
Now, for example, now does he view Jesus Christ as a part of God?
Yes.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
So this is where we say, okay, I have to differ with you on this point because I believe God is one, and He's indivisible.
Okay.
He has no parts or
And
factions.
you think that Jesus himself believed that?
Jesus, when he worshipped, who did he worship? If Jesus was God Himself,
Yeah.
can God have another God?
In Islam, it's the oneness.
Islam is the only purely literal sons. No, we take them as metaphorical sons. David is known as the son of God in the Bible.
Would you say that's the main difference between Islam and Christianity? Is the tripartite division versus in Islam it's the oneness?
Islam is the only purely monotheistic religion on the planet. So
This is the biggest lie. Islam is the only monotheistic religion. I told you, I have shown you this verse. It's very, very clearly it says that you should love Allah, then follow me. If you love Allah, so this is not monotheism. Pure monotheism is in Judaism. There is nobody in between God and a human. No Moses, no Abraham, nobody. But here, this is you should love Allah, then follow me. So you have to follow, you have to obey the Prophet. I think there is another article we could also have, obey the Prophet. Even it is also said, whoever will not obey the Prophet will be a mushrikeen. Okay, so you who believe, obey Allah and obey the Messenger, and those charged with authority among you. If you differ in anything among yourself, refer it to Allah and His Messenger. If you do believe in Allah and the last day, this is best, most suitable for final destiny, final determination. So there are two. So this is not monotheism, my dear friends. Okay, let's go back to the video again. So
when it comes to, in terms of when we use our intellect,
Yeah.
okay, and our reasoning,
Yeah.
it's up until a point. And that point is when we establish that this revelation I'm holding in my hands is from the Creator. After that point, whatever the Creator tells us about the unseen, we submit to without question. Why? Because once we establish that this is God Himself speaking, okay.
Yeah.
So, my dear friends, we will have to stop the live stream, and we'll continue this in next video, because I want to keep the video very small. And thank you very much. And it's not, the channel is not yet so very popularized, but by the Hashem, by the grace of God, one day it will be and become very big channel. Okay, so these are the things and I'm going to expose these all analyzed with enough evidences, and the same next part will continue after some time. Thank you very much.